5 o'clock. And we'll start with roll call.
Charles Bradshaw is asked to be excused. Carl Pavalonis.
Here.
Lee Highsteed.
Present.
Roy Barlow.
Present.
Mike Bradshaw.
Present.
Quorum is present.
Okay, anybody would like to say a prayer?
Absolutely.
Michael?
Our kind Father in heaven, we approach you in the attitude of prayer and thanksgiving for the opportunities that we have to assemble together as a commission and deliberate on the future of the valley and the presence of the best and possible use of the properties and facilities here in this town. We thank you for the many blessings we have, for the associations that we have, for those who have gone before us to provide these opportunities, and we give thanks unto you for the care and protection and the peaceful circumstances that we meet in. And we say these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. You stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll look at the prior meeting minutes. Did the commissioners all get a chance to review the minutes? Any suggestions, corrections?
I had one correction that I sent to Vance. It was just a change of month in the informal summaries. It says September instead of, or it says August instead of September. That was my only correction.
Based on that final draft, so.
Okay, with that correction in mind, can we have a motion to accept the minutes?
I move that we accept the minutes of our September, no,
August.
of our August 4th meeting.
I second.
Commissioners, all approved?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. Okay. So we can move into the public comment section. For the public, this is comment in general on items that are not on the agenda. So if there's something that you had just wanting the planning commission to know about, you have that ability now, and then we'll entertain public comment with each item as it goes. So anything in general? Okay, Vance, then we close that public hearing part?
No, that's the public comment.
That's just the
There's-
Oh, public comment, sorry.
You
Yep.
close the
Closed.
regular meeting, open the public hearing.
Okay, so now we will come back to open up the Planning Commission regular meeting and hear comment on each individual item. So, and we have 7 of them, so the first one is zoning map amendment parcel 404-57001 from RE1A residential estate to R18 single-family residential. This is at 235 North Central. It was on our docket last month. Anyone on that one? Any written?
I will comment for the record, I have not received any written comments on any of these, but I'll work on.
Okay. Next, we have a parcel 404-53531 from RE1A residential estate to R112 single-family residential, and this is 65 West Warren. No? What's that? They don't show up for their own reason? A lot of people do not. It's their prerogative. Next one is parcel 404-53421 from RE1A residential estate to R112 single-family residential. This is 115 East Johnson.
Wouldn't it be R18?
I'm the public on that one.
Good.
Public hearing?
Yes.
Let me correct that is R18.
R18. Yeah,
Have it right on the agenda, so.
oh, yeah, on the application it says R112. But, okay.
No, the application for the
I think it's this.
parcel 421, ending
Rochelle
421 does say R18
Oh, is
on
that
it.
the one?
The one we're on?
Yeah.
Are we on the? oh,
115 East Johnson
Oh, I
Avenue.
jumped ahead, sorry. Now I see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Alan?
Yeah,
Yes.
That is the R18.
I'm the public on that because I live across the street, and I fully support it. I think you should give it to her. And I'm a little bit biased because she's my daughter. I didn't know she was going to be here rezoning her property tonight. So that's my public opinion.
Which side? Do you live on the Calvin side?
I live straight across.
On the north
Straight
side,
across,
yeah.
north, okay, thanks.
Any other public comment on that one? Okay. Next one is parcel 40453-445 from RE1A residential estate to R112 single-family residential, and this is 140 East Mojave. Okay, next one. Parcel 404-53528 from RE1A residential estate to R112 single-family residential, and this is 60 West Black. Okay. Next one, 3.45 acres of parcel 404-27107 from agricultural to R112, single-family residential. And this is the strip of the huge parcel on Township and Redwood.
So is this our chance to pitch it to you?
Yes, yes.
Actually,
This,
yeah, you probably want to wait till you're addressing this item to have
For the applicant.
yeah, for the applicant.
Next one is parcel 404-53172 for multifamily use per town code 152.045, paragraph CC, multifamily use in certain single-family zones. This existing house is at 250 North Homestead.
My name's Dalton Barlow, and my comment on this one is they've been doing construction on this for months, and now they're asking for it. That's my comment.
Okay, if there's no other comments on specific items, we will close the public hearing and move to the items on our agenda. So the first item is for the Planning Commission to consider a request for parcel 40457-001 from RE1A residential estate to R18 single-family residential. Again, this was brought up last month with a different plan. Thomas, do you want to come up and?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Thomas Timpson, and I'm representing Richard Dockstate on this project. I don't know if that mic's on. So yeah, last month, when we brought this in, we were trying to zone it to an R2, and it didn't sound like the Planning Commission was in favor of that. So we went back to the drawing board, and we switched the application to request an R18 zoning, which allows for lots as small as 8,000 square feet. And so with that zoning, then Richard would like to potentially split this existing lot into 3 and maybe 4 lots. So that's the gist of what he would like to do, so.
Any questions from the commission?
Yes. So, is it 3 or 4? I mean, obviously, if it's 3, then I would recommend we go to 112, but just, if, then the other, but that's just one comment. The other comment is, do you plan on, I mean, I assume with 4 lots, you'd have to have a driveway or 2 off of Central Street. I mean, that's already a dangerous corner, and I would hope that we could not add driveways to that corner. Understood that that's not in the code, and we could drive.
Right, there's
no code
already
against it.
2 existing driveways inside of this parcel.
I understand that, and that's, but,
And so, and yes, if they do 4, they would have to go through the subdivision process with a preliminary plat review.
okay.
If they do 3, they can do the minor land split.
And 3
That's a
works,
decision they'll have to make.
and 3 works pretty well, because you've got at least easily 2 accesses off that alley behind to the west.
Right.
4, obviously, I think at 8,000 square feet still works. Just small lot.
Main reason, because we had that discussion, and one of the reasons we went with the R18 is because he would like to add a garage to that existing house
Okay.
on the south side of it. And in order to do that, he needs a smaller setback. And so the R18 allows for a 5-foot side yard setback,
And it
R112
also
allows
allows
for
for
a
a
10.
narrower frontage.
and a narrower frontage.
And a narrower lot frontage?
Yes.
How narrow can you go on R18?
55 feet, if I remember.
Yep,
right.
55.
55, yeah.
So those are small lots, obviously, and you put a very small product on that, obviously.
Yeah.
So,
So he would keep the house, add a garage, and he would potentially make that lot the smaller lot, and then make 3 other lots, if he decides to go that route, make 3 other lots around 12,000 square feet. So, that's kind of what he's thinking, but it's also a matter, I don't know if he wants to go through the subdivision process
Right.
and everything, and then utilities start to become an issue with 4 lots, so.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
No, I like this a lot better than the
Much better.
previous.
Right.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion then.
I'll make the motion to recommend the approval for the lot split on parcel number 40457-001 from an RE1A to an R18.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, next item. Consider the request for zoning map amendment by Alonzo Timpson. Make a recommendation to council. This is parcel 404-53-531 from RE1A residential estate to R112 single-family residential. And again, this is on
65 Warren.
So this is an interior lot, not a corner lot,
It's a flag
Six-
lot.
Flag
Six-
lot.
65 West Warren. Anybody here for that one? Okay, commissioners?
I have a question for Vance. So how are these, you'll apologize, my ignorance on these flag lots, but how do these flag lots achieve fire protection from fire hydrants?
They,
Do they sometimes have to add a hydrant?
yes,
Okay,
they have to have a hydrant that can reach down into that house within the fire.
within this 500-foot?
So of the ones we've done, about half of them have had to add a fire hydrant. in order
Okay.
to make that work.
All right, that is my only question.
I have another question. On these flag lots, I know that there was some stipulations. Does this, it had to be built before a certain time, it had to be in the original Short Creek
Right,
plat?
The plat, the lot had to be a part of the original Short Creek subdivision as recorded on a certain date. So on this lot, it falls within those criteria.
Okay.
There were certain areas of the town that they said no flag lots here,
Okay.
but this, yeah, on Black was one of the first.
We adopted the flag lot process ordinance to try to accommodate infill on some of these inner lots,
Okay.
because we was getting some really creative ideas.
Okay, any other comments? Can we be open for a recommendation then, a motion?
I recommend we present to town council on the affirmative of parcel 404-53-531 from RE1A to R1-112.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, number 9. This is a zoning map amendment by Rachel Cawley, parcel 404-53-421 from RE1A residential estate to R18 single-family residential. And again, this is 115 East Johnson Avenue. Any,
The applicant is here.
yes,
If you'd like to.
just state your name and,
Rachel Colley, and I'm trying to rezone the lot so that I can split it 3 ways, and I'll have to sell one of the lots to basically just cover the improvement costs, and then on the third lot that already has a house on it is where I live right now, but the last third lot is where I'd hopefully build my future house. But one of them I'll have to sell just to cover the cost of improvements.
so keep the existing but move into a new.
Yeah, and all 3 of the proposed lots would be right on the road. There's no weird driveways or anything.
This is a corner lot, so it's
Yeah.
really
Perfect, yeah.
straightforward.
So, and then I assume I'll have to improve it, so that'll be a step after
You got a
this.
feller here that knows what's required.
This has nothing to do with him, by the way, if that helps.
No, this this is, I think, the most optimum of all scenarios, so.
Yeah.
With that, I would like to motion that we present this to City Council for approval. Parcel 404-53-421 from RE1A to R18.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in agreement?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next item, number 10 on our agenda, is a request for a map amendment by Rulon Harker. This is parcel 404-53-445 from RE1A residential estate to R112 single-family residential. And again, this one is
It's on the
One-
corner of.
140 East Mojave.
This is also a corner lot.
Right, this Mojave and Carlin,
Colvin.
Colvin. Anybody here for that one?
Anybody?
Okay, commissioners?
I do have some questions for Vance, and I think it's more of a concern when we're talking about putting driveways at 65 feet apart on a thoroughfare. What is considered, I think, a thoroughfare, a collector street in the city. It does concern me. I don't know that there's a statute against it particularly, but I am very concerned about putting this much density on these major roadways. And Mojave is a major roadway. It connects into the highway. It's a connection all the way into Hilldale. It makes, so that's my comment and concern. I don't necessarily have a problem with third-acre lots particularly. I do have a concern with a ton of driveways going off of major roadways
I share your concern. One comment I have is our grand designers in the beginnings of the town gave us 85-foot wide roads.
Yeah, I have a different problem with that.
Yeah, same.
That's what I was gonna say, is our right-of-ways are wide enough that they're really not backing into the traffic lane.
Yeah, I understand that. It's
But
still,
yes, it is a concern.
it's an aesthetic thing as much as a traffic thing, for me. But, you know, we're hamstrung with a set of 1 acre lots that we have to do something with, and I get that. And I don't think there's an easy way. I wish you could, I mean, if wishes were fishes, I'd take the whole block and reinvent the whole block, but you can't do that.
Right.
And so, that's my comment. I wish we could do different.
We can't necessarily require it, but we could encourage him to take that one and address it off of Colvin Street.
Well, and you can see, in fact, I don't think those driveways, I don't think that circular driveway even meets.
No, that's just his
the-
concept.
the
and we
code.
could say, we really don't want you to do that.
Well, and that's a good concession at least, and then you have,
Maybe
one
two
less
instead of
driveway.
three.
Just say you can't cut the driveway into Mojave, you're gonna have to bring it off of Colvin.
Well, that would certainly be a concession that I would,
Limit the number of driveways.
Especially on a street that has existing curb and gutter and sidewalk already. so.
well, and I think it ought to be based on a future traffic count.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this is a major roadway in this community. Do we make all of our major roadways 25 mile an hour? I don't think we should. I think it's a poor planning, but here we are, set with a set of information that we have to
you've-
deal with, and
As Reservoir Acres builds out, you're only gonna, I mean, it's already, like you say, a major road, but you've got a bunch of homes going in on Reservoir Acres right there. so-
but I don't think they front Mojave.
They don't.
They have
No,
a-
but I'm just saying the
Just
traffic.
increased traffic.
Exactly.
increase
Yeah,
traffic.
sure. But they don't front Mojave.
No.
Which is wise planning.
Added traffic to that road.
So that's my comment, and perhaps we could encourage him or even require the address off of Colvin.
Right, and I think we could do that, and it'd be amenable to it. It'd actually be better for him.
I think it would.
Yeah.
Well, with that, if the chair is amenable, I will make a motion.
Any other comment? No? Go ahead.
Second.
Well, I'll move that we accept and move this on to city council, amending parcel 40453-445 from RE1A residential estates to R112 single family, with the stipulation that the corner lot driveway access from Colvin Street.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Number 11. This is a request for a zoning map amendment by Roland Harker. Again, parcel 404-53-528 from RE1A residential estate to R112 single-family residential. This is 60 West Black Avenue, and this is a flag lot.
If I'm not mistaken, we did the property next door to the east. That was one of
Across
the
the
first.
street, wasn't it?
The one to the east was one of the first flag lots we ever did. 527, 53527.
Yeah, there's several of them out in that neighborhood now.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, they're working out pretty fair, it seems like. The ones that have developed have done a good job.
And
Good.
Yeah.
I have drainage concerns, but I raised them then and I raise them now. But when you're flooding your neighbors, then it's going to be between you and your neighbors. Because most of those properties are a downhill slope to the back fence, not an uphill slope.
Yeah, I wish we could do some requirement for retention, that they just put a pond or something, that there's a low spot that gathers, collects. But I don't know if you can even put that in a residential requirement.
Really can't.
And then how you enforce it anyway. I mean, you could go see that they build it, and then they just go put something in it.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is, and I think we have to, well, we're, again, stuck with what we have.
Any other comments? Okay, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to recommend the approval of the split lot 40453-528 from, am I reading the wrong one? I'm reading the wrong one.
Number
You
11.
got it?
It's,
From RA
528.
From RE18 to R112.
yeah, it's 528.
That's right.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Number 12. This is a request for zoning map amendment by Redstone Mesa, 3.5 acres of parcel 404-27-107 from agriculture to R112 single-family residential. So this is a strip along Redwood, south of the existing homes that are already on township.
That's correct.
Okay,
All right, so this is just,
just give us your name.
sorry, Barbara Boss, here for Allen Zitting and Redstone Mesa. Yep, so this is just a straightforward 3 4/5 acre, so about 3.5 acres rezone. In your packets, you'll see our planned lot layout for a future preliminary plat. But right now, this is just the rezone. They're each going to be a 1/3 acre or larger and between 75 and 79 feet wide. And it is in line with the general plan of that area that allows up to 7 units per acre, but this will only be just under 3 units per acre. And it's also in line with surrounding zones because 42 acres just north of us got zoned R112 in July. So now I know most of you have seen the bigger plan that we have for that area, but most everyone wasn't quite ready to grant that much density yet, so we thought we'd start with smaller pieces. And Alan's been in contact with some of the families that, you know, they want some bigger lots so they can have shops and they want their sons around them and things like that. So he's already talking to some of them to do some deals. A lot of them are in construction. I think 1/3 of your city is in construction. So there can be some trade work, families working together to get some land and get some roads in, So that's our plan, yeah. Do you have any questions?
I do have one question for you. On the schematic that we were given, there's the 5 lots, a gap, and then 4 lots. Is that gap for access into the other acreage?
Yeah, we'll eventually bring a big road down and through and out there,
Right,
yeah. It's right away.
okay. A question for Vance, do we have to create a new parcel?
What we've done on these kind is zoned the portion, and then they will need to go to a land split and break that off, and then as part of their,
Before the zone
or the
can
preliminary
take
plat.
effect.
So their next step, if this zoning's approved, they'll go do a land split and split those acres off, and then do the plat, preliminary plat.
So it'll be a 107A or whatever?
Whatever, well, it'll be.
Well, it'll be all these lots
Right.
separated out.
But we'll go through that, but at the end of the day, each one of these will be their own parcel.
Right.
So we
Yeah,
can-
so the way I understand it, and let
we
me
can
know
do
if,
it several ways.
Yeah.
yeah, let me know if I've got that right. So we'll go do the strip above the road as one parcel of land, and the one below the road as one
Might have-
parcel?
No, I
And then
think
go to
I
preliminary?
misspoke. I think we can do the preliminary plat
Oh,
without doing the land split from the big parcel.
okay, so that we do it all at once?
And then once that preliminary plat is built out and recorded, it just breaks those out into separate parcels.
And that's when the zone becomes effective, is when those are actually parceled out.
Right.
That's how I would
But
how I
it'll-
would
it'll
understand
work.
it.
This is similar to what we did with Reservoir Acres and with Reservoir Estates. They were both parts of bigger parcels. We zoned this portion, they come in, did their subdivision process, and now those plats are recorded.
So I do have a question on that from Vance, so if this plat is not approved, I guess the zoning would just revert back to the original, or how would that work?
It could be worded that way in the ordinance.
I'm just, yeah, because, zoning is not a vesting, but it certainly does, it is a legal document, it's an ordinance.
Well, and that's why people come and seek the zoning before they
Agreed, and I think it's
Subdivide.
they pay out the money.
it's not a bad way to
Preliminary
process it.
plat.
Yep.
Because it does, basically, the zone approval gives them the assurance that as long as they're developing something that fits our code, it will get approved at some point in time.
I have some other
Other questions?
questions, yes, for the
Alright.
applicant. So the sewer, how are these connected to sewer? Is there sewer in Redwood right there?
Yeah, there's huge sewer in
Sewer
Redwood
and-
because you're
and
getting
water?
right close to the plant out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, I'm gonna make the same comment on this one I did on the one on Mojave, that we really didn't have any way to combat. But again, Redwood is a major road in the future.
Right.
It is a north-south connector akin to Central Street, maybe even larger.
Right.
With the future. And so, again, putting a driveway every 60 feet concerns me. Same scenario. I don't have a problem with the density. I have a problem with driveways. That's really my concern. And
Yeah, we look-
and
sorry.
how do we is there a way that you could come in? Because we did zone those acres to the north as R112, but we haven't seen a site plan on those, and there's a very good chance that those don't have to touch, because you can do a cul-de-sac, you can do an interior build product, and which I would recommend and hope would happen, by the same virtue.
Right.
So I am concerned that we're putting density on this major roadway that's going to have school traffic and commercial traffic and industrial traffic and all of this traffic on a road that probably should not have driveways. I don't know. Maybe.
Sure, I get it. We actually spoke to Vance about that in one of our first meetings, and that's why we went a third acre instead of a quarter, because staff was way more willing to let us pull driveways onto Redwood if the lots were bigger, because they'll be 75 to 80 feet apart. And because there was already driveways on there. And I also went and read the statute to see, and yeah, there's nothing there yet as far as driveways onto the collector roads or anything. So yeah, we'll do the best job that we can, and sidewalk, curb, and gutter, and they'll be about 75 to 80 feet apart, which is a lot better than 60, so.
Are there, for Vance, I'm assuming there are no long-term plans to extend Redwood further south? I mean, it's a dead end, it's going.
Oh, no,
into-
there's,
Actually, the long-term plan is to bridge Short Creek Wash, and Redwood Street would then run clear out to County Road 5.
whatever,
What it is.
Clay Hole
The
Road.
Clay Hole Road.
I mean, it's airport traffic. It's a big road down the
Redwood
road.
picks up on both sides of the creek, and it is intended to be a major street.
And do you have a decade that's going to occur?
Too.
Probably after I'm pushing up the bridge. No, it just depends on what funding we can get when.
Okay.
But that is
Yeah.
in our long-term, our transportation plan is a bridge at Redwood, an all-weather crossing of some sort.
Okay. Michael, any other questions?
No, that's my concern. Again, this is one of those things where I wasn't here when the entire package was brought in. I really like seeing a more large set of ideas come in, as opposed to, onesies and twosies here and there, because it's really difficult to wrap my mind around how this is going to look and how it's going to work in 20 years.
Right.
And so,
Yeah, and that's kind of why we showed the whole design we have overall for that area, but there just was not a lot of support for zoning it all that way right now. It is in line with the general plan right now for like somewhere between 5 and 7 units an acre, but it was just, a lot of water and a lot of units, and it kind of scared people off mostly.
no, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? We get a motion?
I motion we recommend to town council the zoning map amendment of parcel 404-27-107 from agricultural to R1-12 single-family residential.
I'll second the motion.
We'll make that clear, it's only the 3.45 acres.
A portion of.
Yes,
Adjacent to Redwood.
yes,
Okay.
as shown, 3.45 acres.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, next item, number 13 on our agenda is request for conditional use permit by Creekside Housing LLC. This is parcel 404-53-172 for multifamily use per town code 152.045, paragraph CC, multifamily use in certain single-family zones.
Hi,
Hi.
John Barlow. So this, I first want to address the construction, since that was the first public comment, and that'll probably be on your mind as I talk. So just briefly, I just want to discuss allowed non-conforming. It's not entirely relevant, other than to say that that house was being used as multifamily for a long time. And when new zoning got put on it, then it still has some rights to continue to be allowed non-conforming. Or allows to continue that use, which would be allowed and protected by the state of Arizona, but it's non-conforming to Colorado City's code. So it's not as if this is a start construction and move it in a direction that's not allowed. Second of all, the application, the construction applications were put in long before the land use application, and that's where we learned about conditional use permits versus allowed non-conforming and all this. So, and then as far as the construction that's been done, it's just stuff that the building department can see, and it's demolition and fire sprinkler rough ends and stuff like that where the building department can see it. And we've, discussed this stuff. No one's being surprised, and we're not trying to work around the system or anything like that.
So through the process you've been going through, you're aware of what the city's trying to do with the existing homes, just try to bring them into compliance?
Yes, exactly. Move it from an allowed non-conforming use to a conforming use. And that could be through a rezone, but in this case, Colorado City's decided to do conditional use permits. So that has a site plan, everything else. So today you're being asked to approve the conditional use plan or a conditional use permit, and that comes with a site plan. So together, you're saying we approve this permit, and here's the site plan that goes with it. And that allows us to get a building permit and keep on doing construction.
So this is part of the process of getting a building permit?
Yes, yep.
So you currently are working toward that end to get that building permit to bring this into code compliant?
Yes, that's exactly right. So it's a building permit submitted with the building department, and it's just pending planning and zoning approval.
As you'll recall, I think this was before Michael's time on the planning commission, we adopted this
Yeah.
conditional use permit in order to try to help some of these larger homes that were basically designed and built as a single family, but they had multiple facilities within them. Give them a tool to be able to be used, bring them into compliance, so we make sure they're meeting the building code for multifamily, these other things, and not being done on the black market under the table, which there's plenty of that.
Yeah.
Which it's no different than any of the other.
And it also makes it, because we're running into this where people will take these big homes, they'll start renting them out, and then we get an appraiser that comes along and says, they say this is multifamily, and we say, no, it's not.
Exactly.
And we're not gonna give you anything that says they're operating within the multifamily parameters unless they've gone through this process. And because this gives us an opportunity to verify the building code, being met.
Last year.
Also to verify parking, the site plan,
It's already in.
other things that are required of any other multifamily development. But it's a way, it was adopted as a tool to allow these big homes to be put to use in a way that is manageable. And the applicants have a path that they can do that and come into compliance, and that helps them with their financing and other issues.
And it brings the building up to code
Right.
by ordinance and by permit.
This is our first one since we adopted this code amendment.
This was adopted in 2024, correct?
Yes.
And not that anyone's asking my opinion, but the site plan, right now, it's required that the site plan in the code is basically the same site plan for subdivision. And in the future, if we had a code that was like a modified site plan that had only the things that are relevant to a multifamily structure, it'd be nice, because we probably spent like 10 grand on engineering. So I doubt other people are gonna be doing this. I don't know if that makes sense, like, how much of a site plan do you really want?
Well, we appreciate the feedback, and we'll take that into consideration, but there are certain elements that will be required.
Yeah, I think that it is a good, I mean, me as an engineer, it is a good idea, and I think you got a great deal at $10,000. So.
Noted.
But I did have a question. So on these types of facilities, and I don't know if there's a statute where there, is there a threshold where you have to have some kind of an amenity, a play yard, a yard space, or something? Otherwise all the children and all the folks are going to be playing in the parking lot, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just curious about it. Maybe
I
that's
would
for
have to
Vance.
go back and look at our multifamily housing code.
Mm-hmm.
But that is part of what we will look at in the site plan, is what amenities do they have for the residents, the renters, their tenants.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have some amenities? Because that is important.
And there is a landscaped area, I can see that, so that there's options, and I'm not,
And their plan here, it's currently under review. It's stayed pretty similar to this, but it's had a couple little tweaks.
And you stayed within you can only add 10% to the overall exterior.
In this particular case, we're not changing the number of units, and we're not changing the dimensions of the structure
Outside.
at all.
Right. The reason we allowed that was if somebody needed to make a little breakfast nook or something to make an apartment meaningful, but they can't just add a big old section.
at a whole new apartment.
Yeah.
I think it's a great code. I think these houses are amenable to this type of facility. So I think it's an awesome use, and I think the process is challenging and it's expensive, and that's the way it is. I don't know that there's a way around it.
Any other questions of the applicant?
Just for my own education, were you able to obtain a piece of the neighbor's property? Or has that always been has that property always been shaped that way? That's just odd to see that.
Part of the original subdivision, yeah.
That was the original shape with the original Short Creek subdivision plats as recorded in 2017. They got some interesting things in there.
There's probably some existing walls or structures or something that demanded it.
Very interesting.
Interesting process to
Yeah.
interesting results.
Yeah.
Any other comments, questions?
I just appreciate that.
Entertain a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to move that we move this on with an approval to City Council, 404-53172 for multifamily use, conditional use permit.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Any summary, any information we need to
I must
discuss?
have finished this packet remotely at the planning conference because I totally missed that section.
No.
Our next regular meeting would be scheduled for October 6th. And I will note that myself, Commissioner Pavlonis, and Royal Barlow attended the APA conference in Tempe. It was I felt like it was very beneficial, even though I kept
Nice.
getting distracted with attorneys and stuff. I still feel like I got my value out of it.
There's a little bit of a liberal bent, if you will.
Not, what?
Well,
I
it
attend-
was in Tempe,
Yeah.
but, you know, there's that. And then a lot of the folks are from big cities, so you just, you know, we were a little bit of an outlier that way. Didn't wear our MAGA hats down there.
I just went to National a few months ago, National APA. I made a mistake about saying I voted for Trump.
Oh, yeah.
I almost got hurt.
Was that in Detroit?
I can't remember where it was.
I thought it was over in Colorado somewhere, wasn't it?
Colorado.
Denver?
Denver area.
It's a big conference, but did you guys come back wanting more density and wanting to get low-income people to be able to buy a house?
No, but it's coming.
The gist of it,
That's just.
a lot of it was it.
No, but it's through some of these that has helped me understand the rationale behind some of the mixed densities and other things that we're kind of struggling with culturally wise here,
For sure.
so.
And we actually attended a dark sky component also. That was, you know, you hear about that being an emphasis, and certainly we have that. And, you know, my concern has been once you lose it, that you can never get it back. Well, so there's three components. So this is our lesson down there. And so City of Flagstaff has been on the forefront of this for 25 years. So next year is their 25th year as being an international recognized dark sky community.
They were the first city.
Because they've got that big thing up on the.
Right.
Well, so there's three
The
components.
observatory.
It's amber light as compared to LEDs, which of course, you know. So it's that yellow light for exterior lighting, residential, commercial, everything.
Max 3,700 Kelvin.
Yeah, it's gotta be the right
They want
bandwidth.
it shrouded so that it points down to where it's supposed to light. And their third comment is people have a tendency, when they're going to light something, they overlight. They light too much. And the best example is, and I went through this actually back in the 90s with crime prevention through environmental design. So, I mean, this was something, you know, now that was eliminate dark shadows and that sort of thing, but also don't overlight. So they had a perfect example of a canopy on a gas station that was lit so bright, you know, and his comment was they could do surgery under this thing. I mean, it was screaming. But then you cannot see
You
the
can
perimeter.
Outside of that.
behind the canopy.
As soon as the lights, it's just dark, so somebody could be out there. You couldn't see a vehicle outside the perimeter of that. So then they showed the next one of less light and amber light, and it is that glow
Same-
into the perimeter. So it's really, those are the three components of dark sky ordinances. And then they've got, I haven't looked it up yet, but they've got, because of the long history in Coconino County and Flagstaff in particular, ordinances that are enforceable. So obviously that's important too, to be able to have some tangible and go out and do that.
Do you guys agree with the density movement that everybody's talking about, do more density, have
Tiny homes.
political, well, not tiny homes, but a tiny home is a fad that's so useless.
Oh, man, they
Tiny
talked a
homes
lot
are
about it.
$400 a square foot.
Yeah.
They're not a good deal for anybody, but we need to be able to make, I was talking to somebody here, and I was saying, you know, I was giving him the same speech, and he says, Alan, we need to teach our kids to how to use the whole acre. And I'm like, Royce. Royce, not everybody's like Royce. What about the single mom that works at these? She wants to own a home too. You know, like we,
Let's not do high density, let's give them a quarter or a third acre so they can park their crap in their yard. and not on the street.
okay, so I want to talk about the math of that. Talk
Let's
about,
not do high density.
let's
This-
talk about,
This is rural area, we have to sell it for Henderson.
well, okay, that's one option. Let's tell the single mom to move to Henderson.
Well,
Now,
we're saying people that want to high density, we have it.
okay, so we just did 12,000 square foot lot. that means 3% of our people's. We just serve 3% of our people, which we should, but they're already way overserved in our zones here. And so we need to serve the other 97% somehow. Maybe not on my land.
Already?
No, maybe, and a trailer park isn't the answer, let's not build more of those. But the answer is let's build, and it doesn't have to be on piece of my land. The planning commission should take our map and say, where do we want to work on the affordability crisis?
We will have prime opportunities to do that as we go into our comprehensive planning project.
Well, you know, what's interesting, and
Those discussions will be on the table.
St. George just did this, and what they did, because they're running into the same problem in their downtown area as we have. They're these large half-acre to acre lots. And what they did is they changed their ordinance where you can have 2 accessory ADUs, accessory dwelling units, on those larger lots. As long as they can fit and you can put them in the setback, the current setback, they allowed 2 ADUs, which is kind of amazing. But St. George is not us, and I don't think we're ready for that. But again, the other great thing about that is, I mean, it's counterintuitive, but the more dense you are, the less consumptive water you use.
Right.
Because you don't have big grass areas, you don't have big landscape, you don't have all the things, and you do want all the crap in their yard, for sure. But also, you don't want a junkyard either. So it's a give and take. It's the tough.
We're creeping, this conversation right now is creeping from 3% to 5%. Billy just bought a half an acre in Salt Lake City, they're putting 200 units on it. And it's high rise.
Yeah, but that's vertical. We're not ready for that.
No, that's not here, but I'm saying we need to zoom out and think about how do we serve the other 95%? We can tell them to move to Henderson. We can do that. Is that a good plan for Colorado City?
It might be for now. And the reason is just, yeah, well, and it's not even that, it's infrastructure. It's roadways, it's a lot, well, it's infrastructure though. You can't put a 400 unit, 7-story building on a gravel road. You can't do that.
Yeah, I was trying to say we need to zoom out. I know that we're not ready to do that here.
Yeah.
But we're ready to do 10 units per acre that's home ownership. We're ready to do 30 units per acre that's rental housing. You know, that's the kind of stuff that we can do here to serve. We can't serve 100%.
Right,
I'm not convinced we can do that, or we're ready to do that, but.
If we can serve 60% instead of 3%, that's my proposal. Let's figure out how to serve 60% instead of 3% of the income spectrum.
Well, the dark sky is I'm passionate about it. I think that we should work diligently to get an ordinance in quickly.
It was, and again, Flagstaff, you know, you get a panel and it's Flagstaff, Coconino County, Flagstaff, you're like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, I know.
But they were different perspectives, a retired astronomer, somebody from the county commission, and then the fourth guy was their compliance officer.
Yeah,
So
you
it
can
was
go
a
over,
good discussion.
you know, you can fall over frontwards as far as well as backwards, and you know, Moab has fallen over frontwards in the sense that they require such a robust photometric study that it's bonkers. I mean, you have to do a photometric study on a residential subdivision. It's like, what are you talking about? So you have to basically plan your residential subdivision porch lights. Like, that is out of control. And what's dumb about Moab, it's not dumb, it's interesting. What's interesting about Moab is they care less about how much light you're putting on the ground as opposed to how much you're trespassing to your neighbors.
That term was used.
Yeah, light trespass.
But it is, again, their concentration was those 3 points: amber, directed, and less.
And I think I can agree with that. I think that's very well. I think street lights are way overused. I think that parking lot lights are too bright for the most part. It's been my experience, just like you know, these these surgical canopies should be cut into a third at the highest end. That's my experience, in car lots too. And the other cool thing about, and this happens quite a lot in some of these larger areas where they require them to dim the lights, automatically dim them at a certain time of night. So these bright car lots at 7 o'clock at night, where they, at 11, they have to dim them to 30%. And that's a great idea. And we did,
They had brought that up also, and then showed a Home Depot that was cooperative, so that their loading bay was surgery lights. I mean, it was bright, bright, bright. You know, and they stepped back into the parking lot, was all amber. And yes, you get the light where you need it, but that's
Light
it.
where you need it,
And the
exactly.
rest was all plenty, you know, to do what it has to do. So, Alan, on the vast majority of topics was on affordability, not necessarily density, and because those aren't necessarily the same. But it's an issue that everybody's fighting. We had a really good discussion from one of the main speakers at breakfast the second day, that personally I thought we were gonna get a DEI lesson because of her pedigree, and came from Washington D.C. and Latino population, but she talked for more than an hour, and was exceptional and very matter of fact. You know, I mean, yes, she was Latino and interested in that population in specific, but it was not anything that you couldn't apply to everybody else. So that, I mean, it was a good conference over the 3 days.
She was talking about how the planning, she was talking about how the planning is excluding certain
demographics.
demographics.
Well, and hers was all-encompassing. You know, how to immigrate here.
How to integrate differing income spectrums into housing, things like that.
How to get credit, how to get a mortgage, I mean, she covered the broad spectrum of ownership.
To solve it, there's a lot of solutions. But boy, we have to work hard just to move the needle a little bit.
There's a coalition of builders right now that went to Utah during this legislation, making it, or trying to make Utah as a state pass laws that the city cannot impose too many regulations when they're approving a subdivision. For example, like mason board siding instead of aluminum siding, because they said we can't build affordable houses with all of the cool nifty stuff and the, 10-foot trails and all this kind of stuff that gets worked into the lot price.
cost.
Yeah, they do.
Exactly. And so the builders are kind of coming together, putting pressure on the state to make laws of what the cities can and can't impose on exteriors.
Feel like you
Trails.
got a monopoly on that.
Yeah, it's real.
There's some vicious fights at the Arizona legislature the last couple of years on that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so one of the other sessions I think we all went to
we were all there.
was from a developer actually a person who represents developers. So he's the coordinator. But on huge, like DC Ranch down in Phoenix was his. Verado was his. What was the third one? DC Ranch, Verado. I mean, DC Ranch was, I can remember when I first moved to Phoenix, it was, and it's immense. And that's higher, both of these are higher end. The developers of Verado just started getting paid. It's been 23 years.
You're saying they just started making money on it?
Yeah.
Yep. But it's huge.
They're long, like our 36-acre piece, we plan to be 30 years on that. But we gotta plan it.
Right,
Probably our kids will finish up.
Yeah.
right.
But, and it'd be nice if we could cohesively plan the whole thing. We come to you with this little piece because the whole thing's feeling was scary.
It's-
But is there a way to be brave enough to future, even though, and because water, like we're afraid of land use, we're using land use to be, we don't have enough water on and off switch. We need preliminary plats to do that. Like, we want to prove that plat until we have water.
Well,
For land planning, we've got to plan land 100 years in the future.
well, I think that's what the general plan discussion is.
Is it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're trying to plant, you're trying to put in spaces where the growth, you anticipate growth going, and that's the goal.
Yeah, and to Commissioner Steve's point, the very best thing you can do for water density is you have less water per unit.
Their calculation was agriculture to residential reduced water by 80%.
It's probably more than that. I think that's a
Depends on the
pretty,
density, yeah.
That's what they were using
Yeah.
in the Phoenix area.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So the
huge.
the pieces are there.
and if it's alfalfa, it's more than that.
Ways to do it.
Orange trees are one thing, alfalfa's another one.
Carl, with your blessing, I did want to bring something to the attention of the commission. I don't pretend that we are elected. We are an advisory board, but one of the proposals that were put to us last month, the city council voted. We sent it to them on a rejection, and they voted for it.
They have that
And
prerogative.
They do, 100%. It does affect how I look at certain things, you know. But I accept that they are the ruling board.
Which was that? Just out
The
of
trailer park.
curiosity.
It was the Alma Cox.
Oh,
He was there, he showed up.
yeah, and he was not there at the,
It was not at the planning and
He
zoning.
showed- He was at the council meeting and made his case, and
Yep.
I watched that council go from a no to a yes in their attitude.
and they have a prerogative.
But it's a small, it'll be park models. You're familiar with those.
I think it was
Yeah.
10 units?
It'll actually cap out at 9.
Hmm?
Based on his acreage, the maximum he can do is 9.
Okay.
And that'll be based on a site plan that accommodates parking and other things.
Well,
Maybe down to 8 before he's done.
it is important to see.
Just wanted the
what-
commission to know that had happened. I mean,
where the council goes with some of our
I
recommendations.
don't expect them to take us at face value.
Yes, it can.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Charles opposed.
Yeah.